Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Donovin Darius. I want to invite you in to this morning and today's inspiration of the day. This morning inspiration, or whenever you're watching this, I felt led to lead this to do this devotion and to do this post today because something personally that I'm going through, but also I realize that I'm not the only person that may be going through this very situation in life. I don't necessarily call it a challenge, but I do call it a situation. And so I wanted to put this post out there. Definitely, as you come on, do me a favor. Go ahead and share this as you're coming on. This is definitely a conversation that if you're able to listen to it now, definitely listen to it now. If you have to come back and watch it later, definitely come back and watch it later. I'm going to share some things in this video that I truly believe that will really help someone, will really help you as you're walking along your life, as you're going through. Again, I posted several different opportunities, ideals, or different scenarios of people may be going through. And so if you don't mind, do me a favor, check in this morning. Check in with me this morning. And by that I mean, based off of what I shared, in terms of, are you going through any of the following? Are you or have you been divorced? Do you have children that may or may not be living with you? Or do you have a parent of your children that's not with you? Have you been through a tough patch in your relationship where you didn't know if it'll recover or not? Have you been through an emotional season of your life where all that you thought was going right seemed to go wrong? Or it just seems like the floor just got dropped out from underneath you. You were surprised by the decision of a loved one, or there's a strain in your relationship with your children and or those that you care about. So if any of those things are true in your life, do me a favor, go ahead and chime in. Let me know, because I truly believe that this message today is going to be for you. And so I want to welcome everybody again. I'm Donovin Darius. If this is your first time watching, I want to welcome you again. Hey, Brittany. Hey, James. A little shout out. Brenda, Ryan. What's up? Brittany, Cardner, Nicole, LaShonda, Capital G. What's up, Pop? Grady, Almadine, Shelly Hayes, good morning. Norman Frizzy, what's up? Camden, baby. Randy, Randall, Joe Speed, and a bunch of others that come in. And so again, as I mentioned, this message today is close to home. This forum today, this ain't nothing about performing. This is about a real life conversation. And because I know who I am, which is I'm a messenger of inspiration and hope to all people in all nations, then I realize the very power that comes through my personal journey and the different points of it and principles that I get a chance to share so other people can realize, number one, I relate. Number two, they're not alone. Number three, we can all get through this together. And so again, I just want to share with you guys this morning. And so today, I put a post out there, okay? And here's what it said. I said, listen, if you've been part of a blended family, you have children, but they're not living with you or the other parent, okay? If you're divorced, separated, or going through a tough season in your relationship and you need encouragement and hope in making it through, before you throw in the towel, if any of these above, this is the forum for you. And so again, as I get started this morning, first of all, I want to thank everybody. Again, feel free to go ahead and share this message with everybody. This is going to be a very timely message. I'm going to start with the end, and then I'm going to go back to the beginning. And so, yesterday, I just got back from going to New York. And in New York, one of my daughters, Rachel, had a graduation. And she's graduated from high school, and I've raised 5 kids, okay? To this day, I'm raising 5 kids. 1, 25-year-old son, Zaki. 2, 20-year-old daughter, Simone. 3, Rachel, 18-year-old daughter. 4, 16-year-old daughter, and I'm raising a 9-year-old with my wife, Allison, now. And so with that, yesterday, I went to New York to celebrate my daughter's graduation. And at this time, okay, at the graduation, her brother, Zaki, lives in California. He came back for the graduation. Daughter Simone, who goes to Alabama, she came back for graduation. Of course, Rachel was a graduate. Dominique, she came and she came for the graduation. And then I flew in from Jacksonville to go to graduation for the first time. So for the first time in a long time, okay, we all was together to celebrate a moment together. Yesterday, I posted a picture, and I posted a picture from the graduation. And the picture was a picture from the graduation where it was a celebration, and I wanted to say it was a celebration for all. And this is what I said in the picture. It said, "I like to take the time and say congratulations to all. To the son I raised, Zaki, on his professional culinary career," because he went to college for culinary, you know what I'm saying? And he went, and now he's a culinary. I'll never forget when the first time we grilled when he was younger, and I showed him how to put on the spices and the Cajun and all that stuff, and we worked on it again, training them up, and now he's had a professional culinary career. I said to Simone on being a 4-time track and field All-American at Alabama University. Okay, if you guys seen the videos and stuff, you'll know, if you've seen the videos from before, you'll know that ever since the kids was young, man, I had them out there racing and running and training them and all these things, right? I said to Rachel on graduating and receiving an academic scholarship to attend Duke University in China. Okay, Rachel played volleyball. She decided not to go to volleyball, but then the academics and all the stuff that was poured into her, and she earned an academic scholarship. I said into Dominique, and to Alumnish, my ex-wife and the proud mother who also sacrificed and raised our 4 wonderful children. Okay, and I said lastly, Dominique, who recently returned from trying out for the USA women's basketball U17 team, who basically now needs a suitcase to hold all the college university letters she's currently getting. Okay, and I said, God is faithful. I said, love conquers all. Raise up a child in the way they should go, and they won't depart. See, I'm going to start from the end, and I'm going to go back from the beginning. What that picture symbolized for me was the journey that we all had to travel. The journey that we all had to travel in our life. And that's why all those that's coming on this line and watching this, if you've been through hurt, you've been through pain, you've been through family stuff, you've been through divorce, you've been through all this stuff, you'll understand what it is that I'm saying and why it is that I'm putting this post out there for us to relate. You see, sometimes in life, there are pictures, there are images that we have, okay, that as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, that picture to me was worth 1,000,000 words. And it's worth 1,000,000 words because of the journey and to where it is. You ever have somebody overcome a big challenge or big race or big accomplishment and, a triathlete or whatever, and they standing on the finish line and their hands just in the air. You see their glory at that moment. But you don't understand the story that went beyond it. You don't understand the work that put into it. You don't understand the trial, the tribulations, and the ups and downs they had to go through. And so today I'm going to share with you just a little snapshot of some of the things that the story that brought up to that one picture right there. So the first thing I'm going to talk about within the journey is the peace. The peace. You see, I got married when I was about 20 years old. I think it was 20 years old, somewhere around 22 or something. 1998. I got married, had my first daughter, and then Alumnish had a son, Zaki, and I raised him as my own. And over the years, ever since from the time I got into the league until about 2007, 2008, if you will, we wound up having 2 more kids together. So Zaki, Rachel, Dominique, and Simone. Okay, the peace. The peace was basically a time period where everything that you're doing, everybody is together. Everything you ever dreamed of is just kind of basically happening. I'm working in the NFL, I'm playing ball, I'm doing well, I'm overcoming adversities, injuries, all that stuff. But guess what? As a family unit, we're all together. Things are peaceful. Things are all coming together. What you've envisioned is happening. Are there ups and downs? Sure. But guess what? You're all together. You're dealing with it together. You see, during that peaceful journey, you're not really thinking about what happens if everything breaks up. But during that peaceful journey, you're just focusing on doing what you need to do there and celebrating life. But how many of you guys know that sometimes they say there's a season for everything and peace don't last always? The way things are don't always stay the way that you always want them to be. And so in about 2010, 2007, when I left here to Jacksonville, went to California through a period of time, that peace started to get unraveled. That peace, that foundation started to break up. A lot of times people say when what you are becomes, when who you are, when what you do becomes who you are, when you stop doing what you do, you can lose who you are. Such is the same thing sometimes in the NFL. When you've been doing this for so long, when you stop in the NFL, you can almost lose yourself because that's been your identity. When you've been in a relationship for so long, you've been on a job so long, you've been doing something specific so long, when you stop doing it, you can lose your identity. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm in limbo stage. What in the world do I do now? You know what I'm saying? You was in the military for so long, now you're out of it. What in the world do I do? Who am I now? And so through a period of time, that peace started, that first phase one, peace, started to get unraveled. Now all of a sudden there was tension between the relationship. There was a vision there wasn't really a vision for our family. What are you going to do? Dad's going through these situations beyond the league, and the family is just in an uproar, and we don't really quite know. You know what I'm saying? My wife, she's trying to find out who she is. I'm trying to find out who I am. And as you know, two visions, his vision, her vision equals what? Two visions equals what? Division. And ultimately leads to divorce. And so all of a sudden, phase one, the peace started to get unraveled. The experiences of raising the kids, getting up in the morning, seeing them off to school, kissing them, taking them, picking them up from school, going to a game and coming back that same night after the game to kiss my babies and sing a song to them and read them a story, or going to the plays and all that stuff. Now it was unraveled. So in about 2010, 2011, when I wound up going through divorce, now I entered the phase, that next phase. Phase one was the peace phase. Phase two was the phase that was a season of pain. Now there was an emotional pain. Because the people that I love, the people that I dedicate my life to, the one that I gave my vow to, or the ones that I vowed to protect and to be with and to be there all the time, all of a sudden now now it's rattled. Now they're not here. Now there's a separation, there's a tension amongst their mom and dad. They see the people that brought them into this world not really staying together. They're seeing the people that brought them together seem like they're actually ripping apart, and they don't understand what's going on. A season of pain. And during this season of pain, there was a lot of things going on in my mind. What in the world do I do? I'm no longer in the NFL. What do I do now? I'm looking at my relationship and I'm saying, wait a minute. When I said to death do us part, I meant that. But now through life, things are not happening. Things are being ripped apart. And what is this? I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to deal with this exactly. There was no roadmap for this because I never signed up for this. You see, sometimes there's certain things in life that happen in our life that we don't sign up for, but they're meant for us to go through, because it's only going through them that we can ever come out of them and be better because of it, and also help other people. But if you ask me at that time, I ain't really want to go through it to help somebody else. I'm trying to help myself, And so through this phase two, pain, there was a pain emotionally. Because a very personal, when you come together, when you start to rip apart, there's a separation now. What do you do? There's a pain because of the very commitment that you have for your children, the access that you have to them 24/7. Now, all of a sudden, you're not together anymore. What do you do? You see, you may not be married, but you may have been in a relationship and you may have had a child with someone. And your ideal of parenting that child had nothing to do with, or no ideal of them being across town and you being over here, or them not being in their life, or you have an expectation that they should take care of the child, and then they're like nowhere around. The season of pain, that phase of pain. And so during that period of time, everything seems to be rock and roll. Everything seems, no matter what happens, there's no stability. There's limbo phase everywhere. And how many of you know sometimes that pain has a purpose? But during that season and that phase of pain, you don't understand what it is. Because no matter how much intellectual stimulation you have, how much understanding totally, it sometimes doesn't take away the pain of loss. It doesn't take the pain away of grief. It doesn't take the pain away of separation. It doesn't take the pain away of insecurity, of uncertainty. It doesn't take the pain away of divorce. Not only a divorce from your children, if you will, but a divorce from the ones that you loved and the one that you committed, and even a divorce from your own self, your own identity. And old identity, you don't know that anymore. And you're trying to figure out what in the world I do. And so that first phase was phase one, peace. Everything was where we thought it would be. Everything's rock and roll. That next phase was that phase of pain. You see, I love the Bible and I love the words of wisdom that come from the Bible. And it had and through this time and as I journeyed, that's one of the things that I relied on most. That was my motivational manual. Although it took time for me to totally understand. And although it took like you plant seeds into the ground, you plant the seed, but it takes watering, it takes encouragement, and it takes the natural principle of time, the law of harvest, okay, for it to grow, for it to produce. Okay, and so there's a passage that says, in this world, we will go through tribulations. And so that passage in the Bible let me know that in this world, you and I, we will go through tribulation. But then it says this, it says, but be of good cheer because God has overcome the world. What does that mean? And how does that apply to you? Well, the way it applied to me and the way it can encourage you is because when it says be of good, when it says in this world we're going to go through tribulation, number one, it sets expectation that I will go through. This season will come. This season will go. I will go through tribulations. It doesn't say I will stay in it. I will get stuck in it. I will go through it. It said, but be of good cheer because God has overcome the world. Well, what does that mean when it's saying that, wait a minute, God is all sovereign. God can do anything. Of course he can. But what about me? The fact that you overcame, how does that affect me? The way it affects you is because you are a co-creator just like God. God says, he said, your designer, the manufacturer, God says, I made you in my image and my likeness. That means that God gave you his image. That means the reflection that means that when you look in the mirror, okay, when you look in the mirror, you see your reflection. So God made you in his image, in his ideal, not just a physical image, in his ideal of a person that's an overcomer, that's more than a conqueror, that can go through anything, that can speak to things, that can do things, that can create things. God says, I made you in my image and the likeness. That means that you can do things like God. Okay, you may not have all the attributes, but you have some. That means that you have the ability to do certain things. So what does it mean? And how could that be an encouragement when he says in life, you're going to go through tribulation, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. We can be of good cheer because not only did God overcome the world, but the God living on the inside of you has the ability to overcome the world. The world is the systems. The worlds are the things that happen in us. That means in you, in that phase of pain, you and I have the ability to overcome whatever comes at us. You see, so that gave me encouragement as I went through, as I walked through, to understand, okay, but yet I still was experiencing the pain. And so the first phase was the peace phase. The second phase was the phase of pain. But then the next one, as I was in the pain, what brought me out is what I just shared. It was a phase of promise. It was a phase of promise. It was when I looked at the promises for my life. I looked at the word of God for my life. I looked at the designer's manual for my life to tell me exactly what can I expect. If I got a phone, I get a manual. That manual is the mind of the maker inside of there to tell you what you can expect out of operation of that phone. It tells you what to do in case of emergency. It tells you what not to do. It tells you how to maximize your experience with that phone. It tells you everything. So when I was going through my phase of pain, I had to turn to the manual and I had to get some promises because again, there's a passage in the Bible that says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. That means when I'm hoping for something, I'm in the middle of pain and I can't seem to escape the pain, and I'm hoping for a better life. I'm hoping to be reunited with my children. I'm hoping for things to turn around. I'm hoping to return back to that phase of peace. And then I don't see it and it takes too long. Hope deferred means hope taking a little time. Things not turn around when I want to makes the heart sick. It makes me sad. It makes me heavy because I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know, is this the end? Am I being punished? What's happening to me? Is it lost? Is there a possibility? Will it ever return? I don't know. And that's when I had to lean back on the promises. So the next phase was the phase of promises. And so what I found in the phase of promise was a couple of things. One of them I found it said, no good thing will God ever withhold from you. And so as I started to go through in my roughest moments, when it felt like the weight of the world was on me, I had to rely back on a couple of things. Number one, this is what I recite to myself almost all the time. This is what picks me up and encourages me no matter what's going on in my life. I want this promise. It says, no good thing will I ever withhold from you. That means that if I don't have something right now, even though I desire it, it may not be the best for me to have it at that moment. Why? Because my designer, my manufacturer, the God, the one who gave me breath, the one who gave me a heartbeat, says this, the promise that no good thing, Donovan, will I ever withhold from you. I say to you, Loranda, no good thing will God ever hold from you. Tim, no good thing. Mackenzie, Patricia, Tim, Mark, Karen, Tamara, Pamela, Kristen, no good thing will ever withhold from you. So that means if I'm holding on to the promise means that it hasn't manufactured yet. It haven't manifested yet. That means it's soon to come. It's something I'm holding on to. So it says, no good thing God withhold from me. So what did it give? How did it give me help in that moment? It gave me help because it lets me know that, wait a minute, maybe life is not happening to me, but life is happening for me. And life is happening because of me, because of the decisions I make, because of the decisions I don't make, because of the things I do, because of the decisions I don't do, because of the fact that I'm making a decision to go through this. In life, you will go through situations. Because I'm making a decision to go through this instead of giving up and throwing in the towel. In life, God will not withhold any good thing from you. I said, wait a minute, okay. So that gave me a little peace. That, all right, Donovan, hold on to this promise. Even though you don't have it yet now, even though you don't see it the way you see it right now, it's not manifested, just hold on. Just hold on. And you're not being punished. You're actually going through. Then there's another passage that helped me at this time. It says, where God says, he says, it is my pleasure to give you the kingdom. That means to give you everything you need to be able to manifest God's likeness and his image here on this earth. For you to be able to manifest, okay, your abilities, your talents, your anointings, you know what I'm saying, who you are to the areas of your influence. God says, no good thing I will withhold, because he said, it's my pleasure to give it to you. So wait a minute. So I got to ask myself. See, sometimes in order to move forward, you got to pause. In order to go fast forward, you got to take a step back. You got to slow down. And you got to really think about this stuff. You got to really think, what does it mean beyond what somebody else is saying? So when God says, and when God says to me, he says, it's my pleasure to give you the kingdom. I think about it as a father. As I tell my children, baby, it's my pleasure to give you what you need. How many of us as parents had the pleasure and the desire to give their children something, but you knew it was not the right time yet? You knew that what you wanted to give them, you knew the big picture. They only knew the small picture. They wanted it now, but you know they're not ready for it yet. When God says, it's my pleasure to give you the kingdom, how would you respond differently when you knew that God said, it's my pleasure to give you everything that you need to do what? To go through what you're going through. You see, a lot of times, remember this, God will never do for you what he only meant to do through you. God will never do for you what he only meant to do through you. You see, it's a journey. It's a journey we're traveling. And so during this time, I had to hang on to these promises. No good thing will God withhold from me. It is his pleasure to give me the kingdom. And then after I finished that, as I went through that phase of promise, then I had to go through the next phase, phase 4, a phase of perseverance. Perseverance, where I'm now holding on conceptually in my heart to a word, to a spirit, to the promise of what was given me. Now I got to persevere. That means now I can't give up. Now when the road gets tough, I got to find a way to put one foot in front of the other. I got to find a way to do the right thing, because doing the right thing is the only thing that matters. Was there pain around? Yes. Did people sometimes seem like they get on your nerves? Yes. Did you feel hurt, disappointed, distracted, frustrated, angry, upset, despondent? Yes. But we persevere, because here's what it says. When I went back to the manual, here's what it says. It says, Donovan, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. You see, so as I was going through and I'm holding on to those promises, be joyful in hope. So I mean to be joyful, full of joy in the hope that this is going to come to pass. I may not see it. It may not have manifested itself. I may not know exactly how or why or when or what or when, whatever, or whoever. Be joyful in hope. So the very fact that I got a hope, be joyful in it. Then it says, be patient in affliction. Are you going through pain right now? Have you been through pain? Is there a heaviness? Is there a pain? Be patient in it. Be patient. You see, every mother who's on this line knows what it's like to have a baby. You know what it's like to go through the birth pains. You know what it's like to go through the first month, the first trimester, the second trimester, and the third. And so you know exactly what it means to be patient in affliction. Why? Why must you be patient in affliction as you're going through? Because if you're not patient in affliction while you're going through, that baby has no ability to fully develop. You see, right now, someone is in the incubator. Someone is in the womb of their season. Someone is being developed right now. And I feel that God is saying to you as a word of encouragement, be patient in your affliction. You are being developed. You are being persevered. You are having to persevere. You're being cultivated in your affliction. Then it says, be faithful in prayer, full of faith as you pray. That means that I am trusting, I am having a confidence that what it is that I'm praying, that I'm saying, that I'm believing is going to come to pass. That's what it means. Another passage that encourages it says, let us not become weary in doing good. Do you find yourself in the season, man? You're trying to do everything. You feel like you're apologizing every time you turn around. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to justify, or you're trying to really share, clarify what it is you mean. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to do that. Man, I love you. This, that, whatever. You know what I mean? It says, are you everything you seem like you're doing, it seemed like nobody is receiving? It seemed like you're taking one step forward and then two steps backwards. It seemed like it's so unpredictable now. The same things that used to work ain't working. It seems like you're dealing with whole new people now. Like, whoa, is that the devil in clothing? I don't know. Because they sure enough acting different right now. But what does it say? Don't get weary in well-doing. It says, watch this. Here's the most powerful part. One of the most powerful parts. It says, for at the proper time, you will reap the harvest if you don't give up. If you don't give up. Let us not become weary. Don't become weary in well-doing. Don't give up sending a text message. Don't give up being patient. Don't give up forgiving. Don't give up being kind. Don't give up going the extra step. Don't give up saying I'm sorry. Don't give up saying I love you. Don't give up saying I'm listening. I'm here for you. Don't give up. It says don't give up. Don't become weary in well-doing. It says for at the proper time. There's a passage that says in life, everything has a season and a reason, man. Everything. At the proper time, you will reap the harvest. You will reap the harvest. You see, we live in a culture right now that's not full of like an agricultural culture. But if we lived in an agricultural culture, then we will see that everything has a seed time and a harvest time. And then if we understood it firsthand experience, then we'll realize that, you know what, it'd be crazy for us to think that as soon as I plant something, I'm supposed to see it the next day. But yet I'm planting it, and then I'm fertilizing it, and I'm cultivating it, and I'm developing it, and I'm doing the work. And at the end, what does it say? I'm going to reap the harvest. What is the conditions in which I'll reach the harvest? When I don't give up. Are there times that you feel like giving up? Yes. Were there times when I felt like through this season, through these last years, those years, over the 7 years or whatever, it's been about 2011, I think, since I've been divorced, it's about 2018 now. Over those 7 years, were there ups and downs? Yes. Was I trying to love on my girls and just letting them know, listen, hey, baby, daddy loves you. I've always been here. I always will be here. I'm sorry that you guys are in the middle of this. And just the pain of wanting to hug your children. And you feel like there's something in between you. There's this experience that's, there's this engagement that is just like, wait a minute, what is this? I never signed up for this. You know what I mean? To be able to talk to your children and you hear them getting snappy, or you hear them being despondent, or you hear them saying things or feeling things or hearing things that from their mother's experience, or just an experience based off of life itself of what they're going through at that moment. And to go through that, and to go through the ups and the downs, it took a lot of perseverance. And so over these last several years, I'll never forget keeping my mind on the goal. What was the goal? The goal was I have to, by my actions, win my children's heart back. I have to, by my actions and my words and everything lining up, I have to show them the love of a father. The love that comes unconditionally. I have to show them that despite where they're at this moment, that daddy still accepts them. I had to show my ex-wife as well that despite the decision that was made amongst adults, that I still love you for helping me raise and develop these wonderful children. It's not that I have a hate towards you, that I have a despond or dislike. I just understand through maturity that there's a season and a reason for everything. And the season that we had of being together has come to a close. But the season that we have of raising and developing and cultivating a security and an understanding and a support system for these children always continues. And so I had to persevere when the door was slammed shut on me in a case, or when my children felt like they didn't want to talk. I had to persevere. Because remember, like I said when I started, that picture yesterday, that picture said a lot of things. It said, Donovan, don't be weary in doing good. Don't be weary when you're reaching out and you're reading books and you're reading and you're trying different things to win their heart. And then all of a sudden, I'll give you a prime example of something that really, really happened. That was amazing. I remember, I think it was like last year, 2 years ago. As I was searching, trying to, again, man, I'm just like in the NFL, man, I was trying to win, and I was trying to, be in the best shape I can. Guess what? I wanted to be in the best shape as a father. I wanted to go through the best shape I could as a husband, okay? And, as a man, I wanted to go through it. So what did that lead me to do? It led me to reach out to people. It led me to talk to people. It led me to read. It led me to watch videos. It led me to do stuff to build value in me so I can add value out. So one of the things that it was kind of revelationary that came to me was, you know what? Because we live in a way, like we're designed with a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind holds every feeling, every fact, every experience as real. And it gets deep down on the inside of us like a computer hard drive. That even though our conscious mind may be very much focused on what's happening now and how it's thinking now, that in order for me to be able to reach the very heart of my children, I had to go deep. And I had to go deep and get beyond just a conscious mind. That means beyond just what they're seeing as they're developing to a teenage phase, beyond just what they heard. I had to go back and pull up out of them the recall, the memory of the love that we share and we shared. And so one day, I'll never forget, when they came down for the summer. I used to always videotape everything, experiences we had, everything, because Dad was always there. You know what I mean? I was always there, always in their life, always supporting. Matter of fact, so many people who know, like Donovan used to bring them to church all the time. He used to have them running. You'd have to this in school, everything. And so it came to me, Donovan, have them sit down and watch some videos. Have them watch some videos of when they were younger. And so I remember I sat them in the office and I poured out the old videotapes, and I put it up on the screen. And I showed them when they were younger. And what I showed them, I'll never forget hearing them say, wow, I forgot that. Or I didn't remember that. Or, oh, now I remember that. And what did they see when they saw all these videos? They saw the love of their father. They saw me always being there. They saw me always supporting them. They saw me always loving them. And despite what consciously the season that they were in, where they were in a season where we were separated, and consciously they were still just deciding and reasoning and going through situations where they were battling, their hurt, their disappointment, their misunderstanding, their confusion. What did I do? What was happening? What was the wisdom of that situation? It went deep down and it pulled out of them, allowed them to recall the love that we shared. You see, so what happened at that moment is instead of me telling them I love them, I had to show them I love them. I had to pull up the memory of the love that we actually share and the memory of who Dad is and who Dad has always been. And so I say to someone someone who may be watching, if you're going through a situation when your family is separated and you're separated with your kids and you're like, man, you know what? Because of the toxicity of the adult relationship, the children have been infected with it. Here's what I recommend you do. Don't just keep telling your children how much you love them. Yeah, sure, tell them that. Don't try to just debate what the other person has said. Don't do that. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to now go through the wisdom of the mental imagery. And I want you to help them recall what is and what was, so that now those deep feelings that never went away, but yet was dormant, can now come to the forefront. And as they come to the forefront, they'll start to change and they'll start to alter the consciousness of where they're at right now. And so here's what happened. After that happened over about a series of a couple weekends and stuff, and we watched a lot of videos, and I totally, you can imagine, I'm sitting there like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? On one hand, I'm thinking like, man, I wish we had this again, but I'm realizing that I'm gonna be patient in this. And so I'll never forget, we were driving to a workout one morning during the summertime, and one of my daughters said, Dad, she was sitting in the front seat, and she said, Dad, she said, I know Mom has always been there, you know, like I know she's always been there and stuff. Because again, kids typically have an affiliation and an attachment to their mom, right? Unconditional. They came from them. It's natural. You can't fight it. No need to fight it. Accept it. But as she was there, she said, you know, Dad, I know Mom has always like been there and stuff. She said, but I've learned so much from you. She said, like, you taught me and taught us so much. And so as I'm sitting in a car, you can imagine, dude, Mom, whatever, Dad, you can imagine as I'm sitting there driving, and she in the passenger seat, and she's saying this. And as she's saying this, on the inside, I'm leaping with joy, because I'm like, finally, you know, finally, what didn't work just through the words to get through here, to filter the conscious mind, what didn't work there worked from here. And so what happened by her watching those videos? She got a chance to see and recall those experiences of the love and the grace and the involvement and the power and the impact of her father. You see, there's some things in our lives, in adults, even as children, that we're going to go through that right now consciously, because of what we see, feel, hear, sense, and all that stuff right now, we may not be able to remember the feelings, the emotions, or that time. Well, my recommendation to you, as it worked with my children, it works with you as an adult. Pull up the videos. Pull up the pictures. Spend time there, because we think in pictures. The way we're designed is we think in pictures. And so as you look at those pictures of yourself succeeding, you look at the vision board of where you want to go, things you want to do, it gets deep on the inside, and it helps to bring it out and bring the capability and the capacity to do it. And so as you can imagine what I'm saying to myself. As Simone is saying that to me, I'm thinking, wow, finally, what didn't work through just my talking worked because of the voice that was coming up from the inside of her. You see, listen, your children know they love you. Your spouse, your significant other, they know deep on the inside you love them. But consciously, in this moment, they may be going through a moment where, again, they're reasoning things off, and the way they're perceiving things is not lining up to give you the peace that you're desiring. But my encouragement to you is, as you continue to walk this thing out, as you continue to walk it out in faith, just know that God says no good thing will I withhold from you. And it is God's pleasure to give you the kingdom and to give you everything you need. And so that was amazing, you know what I'm saying, as we went through that phase. And so then there was another phase. After that phase, the phase of the perseverance, then it became the next phase that we went through, which was, it just turned it all the way around back to this phase of peace. Because I persevered, because I focused on the goal, because despite what happened or what was happening, stayed focused on the goal, because I allowed myself to go through the tests, the trials, because I allowed myself to be a part of this journey, because I allowed myself to go through what happened, I say this. I say that divorce was because of my perspective, divorce was one of the best things that happened to me and happened for me. You say, wait a minute, Donald, why would you say that? Didn't you start off by saying that was one of the greatest pains for you? Didn't you say that, that there was a lot of times where you didn't know if you were coming or going? You were attached to somebody and all of a sudden it got detached and all of a sudden now you don't know what to do, how to do it, whatever. Didn't you say that? But how is that the best thing? Because as I looked at my life and as I went through my life, I realized that life was not happening to me. It was happening for me and because of me. And so what did the divorce allow me to do? The divorce allowed me to spend time with me, to get to know Donovan beyond just the title and the name of father, of husband. It got a chance for me to discover more about me. And in that discovery, I found out, that my gifts are keep teaching and encouraging. And that I love to encourage people. I love to connect with people, inspire people, motivate and energize people. And so what did I start to do? I started to read more. And that's why I said over the last 7 years, I've read 95 books. Over the last 7 years, 95 books in all different areas and all different subjects. What did the divorce allow me to do? It allowed me to dig deep into who I am and who I'm becoming. It also allowed me to learn things about loving life and loving other people beyond just the convenience of just us being together. It allowed me to grow in my love languages. It allowed me to grow in my ability, in my attributes of compassion and empathy. It allowed me to grow in my forgiveness. It allowed me to grow in who I am. It allowed me to discover, another level that I may not have discovered had I not been through divorce, had I not experienced it. And so now we come back full circle. We come back full circle because of the phase of peace, then the phase of pain, then the phase of the promise, then the phase of the perseverance. We now come back to the phase of peace, which now was demonstrated in the picture yesterday. Yesterday's picture of my whole family, my ex-wife, and the children that I raised. That picture represented to me the trophy of a chapter of life of persevering. My encouragement to you as you watch that photo and as you listen to this message is that as I stood arm in arm with everyone, loving everyone, loving everyone for just who they are, understanding that things happened and they had to happen. And because they had to happen, now here is the prize. The prize is that we were able to earn the opportunity to stand there, to celebrate, to be together, to be unified, to not have a mask on, but to truly have an debt and an endowment and a love towards one another. And that love was based in the fact of, I'm here to help you get where you're trying to go. I'm here to help you fulfill your life dreams, fulfill your life goals, fulfill what is the next passion of your life. And I want to make sure as you are embarking on those next journeys, that I've done everything I can to build in you an experience and a foundation and an infrastructure of love, compassion, peace, patience, perseverance, and overall commitment. And yesterday's picture was able to say exactly that. To some people who saw yesterday's picture, and for some people who read even the post, due to insecurity and uncertainty and immaturity, they couldn't understand it. They couldn't understand it. They couldn't because people see your glory, but they don't understand your story. They don't understand that picture was worth 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 words. See, I say to you, you may be in one of those phases right now. You may be in one of those seasons right now. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to share with you, keep going, keep pressing, keep pushing forward, keep being patient and being persevering, because you too will take your picture after you've overcome. As they say, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Now that joy and that night is not what we think of 24 hours. It just means as you keep going, there's going to be a period of time that you may experience darkness. But then there's another period of time where guess what? That darkness is going to turn into light. And so as you digest this message, my hope for you is that you understand trouble don't last always, Tough people do. And that life is not happening to you, but for you and because of you. And in life, okay? If you don't grow weary in your well-doing, you will reap the harvest. You will reap the harvest if you don't give up. And the last one, as I went through, and I say to you, as the word of God tells me to do, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all of your ways acknowledge Christ, and he will direct your path. Lastly, what does that mean? Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the designer. I drive a Kia Optima. I love it. I traded in a 750 BMW for it. I love it. And it gave me a check, right? You know what I'm saying? If I'm having issues with that car, or I want to know about that car, if I want to know about how to maximize the potential of that vehicle, I'm going to go to Kia, the manual. I'm going to read that manual. And if I'm having issues and I don't know, guess what? I'm going to go to the dealership. And I'm going to talk to somebody that knows more about that car than I do. And if the dealership can't help me, guess what? I'm going to call the 1-800, you know what I'm saying, call Kia. And I'm going to talk to them. Because guess what? They know everything about it. And so when it says trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to just your own understanding, that means, you know what? It recognizes the fact that if I'm honest with myself, I don't know it all. If I'm honest with myself, there are some areas that I don't know. I haven't experienced yet. But I know the manufacturer does. And so it wasn't until I turned to the manufacturer. It wasn't until I walked through the process. It wasn't that once I turned to the manufacturer, everything was right away. No, it took a time. Because everything has a season. Everything has a reason. And there's a purpose and a reason to everything under the sun. And so as it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Acknowledge the fact. That just means to know. To acknowledge means to act upon what you know. If you know the manufacturer knows what he's talking about, then you do what the manufacturer tells you to do. If you know the manufacturer knows you has your best interest, then you do what the manufacturer tells you to do. You acknowledge, you put action to the knowledge that you have so you can ultimately reap the benefits. And so listen, I don't know who this message was for today, but I thank you for listening, at least for my sake, because I got a chance to share this. What I share with you on these forums is living straight from my heart. This is not a show. It's about connecting. It's about connecting to a community of individuals who God has brought in my life. I'm very grateful for you. I'm grateful for the fact that you listen. I'm grateful for the fact that you interact. I'm grateful for the fact that you share. I'm grateful for the fact that you process. I'm grateful for the fact that you encourage. I'm grateful for the fact that you are you. And I want you to know this as you leave. I truly love you. I love you not because of what you have to do or what you're going to become, but just because of who you are. This love has been developed through my pain, through my seasons, through the time that I had to go through. And my encouragement to you today, continue to grow. Continue to be all that you need to be. Listen, I'm going to post this video as well on YouTube, okay, this morning. So again, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, that way you'll get it. Also, go to my new website, DonovanDarius.com, and make sure that you go ahead and sign up. So when we launch my online network this summer, you'll be able to have everything. But for now, YouTube is where I'm housing a lot of the videos. And then you can share this link to someone, okay, that may not be connected on Facebook, but you can send a link to them as well. So listen, I thank you guys. You've been amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your comments. There's been a lot of comments that you guys put forward, and I thank you. You guys have an awesome and wonderful day today. I truly believe that this message was for somebody's heart. I know it was for me, and I'm glad I got a chance to share it out there and allow you to share in it. You guys have an awesome day today. Peace out.